up, what you cooking, man?
What's up, everybody? Good morning. It's Tuesday morning. You know what that means. It's 6 a.m. It's time for Iron Minds. Got the crew. Got Pedro out on the walk. Michael Lombard getting the ruck going. And Nick Cleansmith stretching it out. Good morning, gents. What's up, fellas?
How's it going?
It is time. It is time.
Good morning, everybody.
Do you guys know it's true? Do you guys know that? All right.
It's true.
Let's get cranking this morning. All right. So it is August.
Sure. I was trying to see what that said, and I'm like, oh, I get it now.
It's true. Yeah, it's August, man. This summer's flying by. Pedro just said it, man. The year's going fast. Before we hopped on here, you talked about that. I mean, it's crazy. Dog days in summer, and got to keep going. Got to keep getting up and getting after it. And here we are. So, welcome back, gentlemen. It's good to see you.
Good to be here.
Good to see you. All right. Oh. So I need a little update, gentlemen, on the Texas Trucking Association show. Michael Lombard, I know you were there. Pedro, did you go?
No, unfortunately, I didn't. I had a weekend of other plans.
So Lombard, talk to me about it, man. Tell me about the show. How many people? What was good? What'd you learn?
Yeah,
What'd
the
you teach?
TXTA annual conference. You guys can hear me, right?
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. No, the TXTA annual was a solid event. I mean, there was definitely over 300 people there. It was there was a couple breakout sessions. I'd say the one standout breakout session was one we sat in on regarding cargo theft, and which is nuts. A gentleman from Travelers Insurance came. He's on a huge cargo theft task force, and some of that information. It's a lot of it is stuff we already know. A lot of stuff we already talk about, like on Twitter and various channels. But it's crazy to think how brazen and blatant it is, and really, I mean, just how slow moving the FBI is, and like how it's basically just like something that's not much on their radar. There is federal legislation, I believe that has been introduced. It seems to be very supported. It's called the CORCA Act, CORCA, something to definitely look into. I don't think it's something this year, but it would create a federal task force for cargo theft to really start investigating on this stuff. So, but yeah, it was pretty amazing. But overall, like a great event. Biggest takeaway though that I want to share about the event is I spoke at a TXTA East Texas chapter meeting back in May, on May 8th, and at the annual on Thursday, there's a lot of people there I saw that I already knew, but the president and CEO of Lone Star Hazmat, he made a point to find me during the event, and he was like, and he flagged me down. We were talking for a little bit, and he's like, man, I got to tell you, ever since that presentation, he's like, I really started to turn things around, and he's like the switch that went off in my brain is when you were describing how sitting is killing more people than smoking, and that sitting is the new smoking. He's like, my mind totally exploded, and he said he's down nearly 30 pounds ever since that presentation that he had sat in on.
Wow, dude, that's awesome. He found the gateway drug, walking. He found the.
That's exactly what he started doing. He goes, I started walking. He's like, started really just paying attention to some of the stuff I was like kind of mindlessly eating, getting lost in it. And I mean, it's turning things around. And he's 59 years old. I want to, mind you, like this guy, he's not a quote spring chicken. 59 years old and still making a conscious effort. And it was really awesome to see. But yeah, great event, a lot of great stuff going on that front of what TXTA is doing on the advocacy side of things. It was really it was cool to be at. It's good time with a lot of great people. There was a lot of drivers represented there. That was pretty awesome to see,
Nice.
especially
Yeah.
HEB's drivers, and it was pretty. It was an overall good time. And yeah, there's a lot of I was pounding the pavement with all the things Project 61 and Off Shift. So yeah, I had a great time.
Nice, man. That's cool. Yeah, it's one of those shows I've never been to before, but now I know Willie. Thanks for connecting me with him. And man, I just want to feel like I need to get to at some point, and make it down there, which is great. So I don't know if you guys see the new addition to StreamYard here, but comments just automatically come up on the screen now in the lower right-hand corner. Good morning, Jessica. Thanks for joining us again. Dude, Jessica, she's rock solid, man. She's rock solid. She's here every Tuesday morning. I love that. Tell your friends, Jessica. Tell your friends. But it's good. It's good stuff. That's awesome, man. I'm glad that that went well. I definitely need to get down there and check it out. Where was it this year? And is it annual? Is it once a year? Is that right?
Yeah, it's their annual conference, and it was at the Omni Barton Creek, which is where I know you and I had some dinner. I think.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
nice.
Great location. I think next year I'm pretty sure John Esparza, the president, said it will. I think it might be in San Antonio, but but this year, yeah, it was at the Omni Barton Creek. It was great.
Nice.
On the guy talked about how you were just talking about him, and he said how he was just kind of going through the motions or doing things without really a plan or measuring. And I talked about that a little bit yesterday. I made a quick video because in interest of, number one, when I'm ramping up training, I don't think I've been eating enough. And number two, in order to make sure I'm help manage my blood sugars, I try to keep track of my food every day, and I put it into my MyFitnessPal calorie tracker or whatever. And really, I just sort of pay attention to the macros, and it's not like I really need to worry about my weight per se or anything. But last week I started out. I missed Monday. I just didn't start doing it last week. I said, all right, you know what? I'm not going to track anything this week, and the result of which I gained 2 pounds, and my average blood sugars increased 2 points. Just from not paying attention.
Yeah. Ain't that crazy? It just doesn't take long.
And I don't have to, it's not like there's a lot I'm not on a weight loss journey. I don't need to get super meticulous, but if it's important, measure it.
Yeah. There's a lot to be said about that. I've been getting on the scale a little bit more often. I've been texting my weight to Dr. Mark Manera. Tell you what, man. Mark and I have been getting really close lately. They came over for dinner Saturday night, him and his wife, Amanda. We had some burgers and brats and grilled chicken.
Nice.
That was really good. And man, what was that?
No, I was going to say it's good. This is good to segue into some of the stuff Mark's been working on.
Oh, dude, so awesome! I know so every Thursday morning we go on a 4 to 5 mile walk, and we just talk life, talk business, talk whatever. And man, I can tell you, like, the moment that the opportunity with Jeremy and Project 61 came together, man, his enthusiasm came back, his excitement for what he's doing, and the mission that they're on, the passion they're on. It's cool, man. It's really cool to see all that. I'm excited for him and for them and what they're going to do. And already got the trucker pledge. I don't know if you guys have signed this or not, but he's got the trucker pledge now. And anybody can sign that just to say, hey, I want to be a part of the solution to help, increase the longevity of truck drivers, their lives, their health out there on the road, how they're treated, all those kind of things. So I think it's on their website on project61.com. But it's exciting what they're doing, man. It's really good stuff. Michael, I know you're excited about it.
Yeah, no, I'm fired up for it. I mean, it's just what's happening now with Project 61 and Off Shift. And for anybody listening who doesn't know yet, again, Project 61, the nonprofit, acquired Off Shift, which is a health coaching platform for motor carriers and drivers. And now that that technology is going to be available at no cost to drivers now, because it's run and owned by the nonprofit. And in this transcends the entire industry. Again, it's kind of what I've been saying is now that this is happening, it's like this is something everybody in the industry, every link in the chain can get on board with, because every link in the chain again, going back to everything, like nobody in this industry makes any money or does anything or finds any success. It goes through the drivers. All success goes through the drivers. You could be the CEO of some freight tech company. It doesn't matter. Your freight tech's value drops to zero if there's no drivers. And so when something like this is out there, when you can be a part of something like this, you are a part of something that is going to trickle down and help every aspect of this industry. Healthier drivers are better drivers, happier, safer. Like there's an entire business argument to this, for safety and insurance wise and all that. But then it's also a moral victory what this is, because people deserve more life, more strength, more time, and having some of their power given back. So it's awesome. Yeah, I'm fired up for it.
Yeah, I mean, think about drivers who are getting good sleep, getting good rest. Their focus is better. Their energy is better. They're happier. They feel like when they're out there on the road, they're not alone. There's people pulling for them, people checking in on them, people holding them accountable. So all those kind of things. Like, man, it's just better. It doesn't matter where you are in life, but man, if you're on the road, isolated on the road, man, that's a great thing to have. People helping you out, It's a great thing to have.
100%, baby.
All right, guys, I don't know if you noticed or not, but I just did 15 push-ups in a row without any pain. I'm telling you, it's exciting.
Excellent.
It's exciting stuff. Doing it again. Here we go.
Going for 15 more. What's happening with you, Pedro? What's a good word?
Hey man, good word is just things are good, right? Nothing major new to report in my life, brother. I'm just staying the course, putting in the work, doing the things, and just enjoying the rewards from them. Things you were just talking about: better sleep, more energy. I want to do more things, and I tell you, for me personally, someone who suffers from clinical depression, like, it makes me feel better too, man. I'm not so much Debbie Downer in the dumps all the time and walking around with a frown on my face, dude. If I'm having a bad day, usually it's honestly, again, me personally, it's nothing that a little hour walk in 100-degree Texas heat can't solve, man. So
yeah. Man, the number one way to fight depression in this life is to, one, be in community with other people, and two, to serve people, man. Like, help other people out, man. That takes your mind off yourself, man. It's like
best way to get out of self is help other people.
That's right, man. It's so huge. Be a part of community changes it, man. So, Pedro, I love that, man. That shirt's not going to fit you in a while, and that suit's going to. You have to give that suit away that you just bought.
Dude, it's funny you say that, man. I'm just literally telling my wife. So one of the things that I have dealt with is stupid everyone else, but everyone's got their thing when they're overweight. I'm telling you, ask any person that is not happy with their size. They don't like the way pants fit, or they don't like the way shoes fit. Me, it was shirts, man. Shirts always balloon out on me, and it makes me look twice the size that I am. As I started losing weight, like, all those shirts started fitting really good, and now I'm losing more weight, and now the shirts that fit good are starting to balloon too. I just told my wife, I was like, man, by Christmas, I'm gonna have to buy an entire new wardrobe, because nothing is fitting anymore, man. So
Well, I'll tell you what, when you're ready, you tell me what size you want, and I'm gonna send you a new Iron Mind shirt. Free of charge, my friend. It's coming your way. So you tell me when.
I appreciate it.
We'll get it out to you.
I appreciate it, brother.
Thanks to our friends over at Chain, by the way, for the shirts. We appreciate that.
But everything is hunky dory over here, man. Life is good, making gains every day, both personally and professionally, and just going through the motions, man. I wake up almost every day now with a whole new sense of living. And I think I've said this before on the show, but when I went to my appointment last year, I was 40, I'm 41 now, and the average lifespan for a man in my family is 65. So I'm past the halfway point. You know what I mean? If history repeats itself in my family. So I want to make this second act my best act, man. And I can't do that being overweight and having all these medical problems and not being able to move and go out and do things and talk well with people. So, this is just wake up every day with a sense of rejuvenation, man, revitalization of my life, and looking forward to the next 41 years. You know.
And that's big, man, because you got to have a vision for where you're headed in life. I mean, that's so critical to have a vision. You know, there's an old ancient Hebrew proverb that says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." And there's something really powerful about having a vision. I know for me, my daughter and I went swimming last night, and she loves to swim. I was like, "Man, Daddy, let's go swimming." So I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So we go there, and there's this woman with one of her friends is with her, but she brought her daughter, who's like 5 or 6, young girl. Maybe 4. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I can't tell anymore what age kids are. Mine are too old. But this little girl was like jumping in. She was doing these different jumps, and she's naming them, and just like making sure mom's watching, those kind of things. And all I could think about the whole time was my grandkids coming up, and being in shape for my grandkids, being able to throw them around, being able to get down on the ground with them and play, and be able to run with them and do all the different things that they're going to want to do. Growing up, throwing the baseball and playing basketball and just all the different things that they're going to want to do. And man, I want to be ready for that. So I feel like I'm preparing myself now for grandkids in 5 to 10 years, whenever that happens. And that's wild, man. It's like, but you have that vision, it changes things. It's like, yeah, I gotta make sure I can still run. I gotta make sure I can still lift. Like I'm lifting 60 pounds here this morning. And, I want to be able to pick up my kids until they're about 50 pounds, my grandkids.
It's about finding that aha moment. Like, and it's hard to, what sucks about that aha moment, which is almost its own form of self-actualization, is something needs to happen. Yeah, we need to see something. There needs to be an event for it to happen. And really, my whole goal, and I think the goal of this show and the goal of having these conversations is, how can we expedite that aha moment? Like for me, the aha moment for me was, me back in 2018, losing, coupling, getting engaged, but then not long after getting engaged, I lose, one of my best friends from my unit. It shouldn't have taken the loss of somebody I love for me to have that aha moment. Same thing for the gentleman from TXTA Annual. I mean, did he have to wait until a day in Tyler, Texas, where he heard me, Mike Lombard, essentially nobody, give this testimony? And, there's other people, there's another friend of mine. We were just having a lunch on Sunday, and a friend of ours was noticing. So another friend of mine, Zane, he's recently gotten into running, and he's recovering from, especially coming back from a knee injury, and his progress is so great. And one of our other friends is seeing it, and she's like, wow, she's like, I've known Zane for years. Now since seeing him, she's got this itch. She's like, now I think I can run. Literally was speaking this out loud. And it's like, what does it take to get to that? How can we expedite the aha moment? In what way? Is it relatability? Is it through testimony? Is it it's, how do we, what's the way we can expedite it for most people? I think that's why I love doing this show. That's why I love making that stuff, because maybe it's not one clear thing. Maybe it's just slowly, it's just slowly chipping, where when people hear it over time, maybe it starts to chip away at the armor that's been telling them they can't do things. But either way, it's
all right. So I want to ask the people that are watching. I want to ask the people that are watching right now, what was your aha moment when you just really got it in gear? Or is today your aha moment? Is today the day that you decide you're going to make some changes? I'd love to hear in the comments. Throw in the comments there what your aha moment was.
To Michael's point, mine wasn't one, it was a series of aha moments. Because my first aha moment was when I saw a picture of me at 237 pounds at a Vegas pool party with my very fit friends. And I was like, what the actual fuck is that? I remember calling them being like, how did you not tell me this is what I look like? I needed that comparison. But then it was 2 more years until I got sober. And then it was 2 years after that until I discovered Spartan Race. And so it was just these series of events that, like we said, that was a gateway drug.
That was a big one, though. That was a big one, though, when you were at the party. I mean, that was the catalyst for all this, man. You see that and go, wait a minute, this is not. I can't keep doing this.
It just, it's, you look and say, I can't live this way anymore. And I'll tell you something. I was thinking about it this morning because we talked about habits, and when I was in logistics working in a sales office for most of my career, like most people at 3PLs and brokerages, we were truly agnostic to the lifestyle of drivers. So this has all been a very awakening for me this past year, getting to know you guys and getting to know other people.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about what my habits were like, my morning habits back when I was working in a logistics office. It was 5 to 6 cups of coffee a day, which, by the way, I'm not even getting started yet. A drug called armodafinil, which is basically a methamphetamine.
Modafinil, dude?
Armodafinil, yep.
Yeah, it's a narcolepsy drug for anybody who doesn't know.
So rather than, when I would complain to my sleep apnea doctor, rather than him say, hey, I bet your mask is leaking too much and that's why you're tired all the time, he's like, here, let me give you meth. So so I took that, Adderall. By the way, this is every day, and this is all within hours of each other.
Yeah.
Something else that's freely handed out at a lot of brokerage offices, Adderall, Vicodin, because at that point I had to chill the anxiety. At least 1 or 2 Monsters, or energy drinks, but of a different kind. And then, probably followed up by a massive amount of alcohol, rinse, wash, repeat. So
Nick was with, oh my God, man, you were living to die in Las Vegas every week.
This is
you're living in Las Vegas every day. Yeah, this is your broker.
I know. I was basically a 22-year-old on the Vegas Strip every day.
Every day.
The better part of
man.
a decade. But I don't even think it was that extreme because of so many people I know. And again, there's they're passing addies around. They're sitting all day. It's this, and we joke about it, about the lifestyle, and you see on LinkedIn people joking, oh, I'm a broker, I work 30 hours in a row, I haven't eaten, it's all caffeine and Zyn and blah, blah, blah. And it's amazing I didn't actually die from just the regular daily lifestyle.
Man, it's crazy. Jessica says, I love this. Jessica says for her, it was her granddaughter and being out of breath, chasing her around. The come on, Nana is what hit and really struck with her. Jessica, I'm going to throw that out there just so everybody can read it a little bit easier. That, that's powerful. It's like, man, you want to be available for those moments. And just saying that I'm older isn't a good enough excuse. I remember, when I was doing Tough Mudders, which I can't wait to get back into Tough Mudder. I'm going to sign up for one here for 2026, if not one in the fall, but in 2026. But, I remember being at Tough Mudders, and we were in the starting gate, and they're getting everybody hyped up. And they acknowledged a guy who was doing his 100th Tough Mudder, which, if you average that out over 20 years, that's 5 a year. And, I mean, this dude was no spring chicken either. The dude was probably in his late 50s, early 60s. And then they recognized a woman who was 86 in the starting gate doing a 15K, a 9-mile Tough Mudder. And I remember just thinking, okay, listen, I have nothing to complain about today. Like, this is, if this lady's doing 9 miles at 86, and I'm, at the time I was like 44, I'm like, there's no complaining today. Like this, I got a smile on my face all day. Boys, look at
that
this.
Lady probably could have beat you up, Trey.
Yeah, she probably could have. Dude, look at this skinny. look at this skinny shadow, guys. Look at that. Look at that skinny shadow. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Yeah, you find that vision, you find that reason, man, and it changes everything. Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, those are the ones, right? Those are the testimonies right there that just, again, excuse eliminators. And you want this aha moment to come before it's too late. And for some people, the aha moment is the heart attack, or it is the diabetes diagnosis, especially type 2 diabetes, but for a lot of people after that, I'd say more than half might go, oh, well, I guess I'm already this far gone, it's too late. But for anybody else, when you've had your aha moment after the heart attack, it's still never too late. You should still, there's still comebacks to be made. But in a lot of ways, when it comes to chronic disease, and Peter Attia talks about this, there's 4 horsemen of death, what people die of. You either die of heart disease, heart disease, neurological disorders, Alzheimer's, and diabetes. Those are those 4 horsemen that you go through of chronic disease and other issues. And all of those things for the most part, in the majority. There's some things you can't prevent. Oh, and cancer. That's the fourth one. A lot cancers obviously are not always, there's anomalies, but like not smoking is a great way to not get cancer. So there's things you can do to prevent it, as well as exercise. And you want to have the aha moment before it gets to one of those thresholds, like the heart disease. And again, that moment for Jessica, like, I can't imagine how something like that would feel. And that's like, to put that in people's minds before it gets to that level is very important. I think people just need to, and I think it dials back to community. Again, Nick just described this entire thing. That was, community is good and bad. Nick's community, that's exactly how they found camaraderie. That's how they stayed engaged on their mission, on what they were trying to do, what they were trying to accomplish. And the result is what Nick described his actions were doing. Whereas, so community is really important on kind of what's going to drive you towards your aha moment.
Man, it's everything, dude. Like, having the right people around, man, is really, it's a game changer. Hey, look, our boy Chris Thomas is in the chat this morning. Good morning, Chris.
Oh, Indy. Hey, speaking of great show, love Bart and Indy last night.
How's that Mack truck treating you, my friend? Dude, I love his new Mack truck. It's nice.
Oh yeah, me and Chris were ripping last night. We were talking shop. We were getting into some trucking last night.
Yeah,
it was a good show. And hey, I want to, y'all talking about the aha moment, but I also think that something that is of equally as important that you don't think about until you're into your journey is your let's keep going moments. Because I'm just getting over one of those where I'm like, oh man, I lost almost 40 pounds. I feel great. All my levels are good. Like, I could really just stop here, but technically I'm still overweight, right? And I got a lot of ways to go. And so it's like, what are those let's keep going moments? Because the further and further, and this is my opinion, I'm sure the people relate to this, the further and further you get away from that initial aha moment, you tend to forget it. And it's harder to remember what it was like being that person in that aha moment. So what's the things that keep you going? Is it fitting into new clothes? Is it being able to ride the carnival ride, because you're underweight, or being able to buy that motorcycle you were too big for, what are those things that you see throughout your progress that keeps you going? Because let's be honest, man, losing weight, health, fitness, it's a lifelong thing. It's funny enough, they tell us that during elementary school, junior high, high school, that it's your whole life. Your whole life, you got to work towards being healthy and fit. And, when people start to lose that weight and they get fit and they get to that point, they're like, they said they want to quit. And, oh, it's good enough right now. It's good enough. And then you stop those habits. You stop eating right. You stop exercising. You stop your protein intake, your water intake, all these things. And then a lot of times before you know it, you're right back to where you were at that moment where you needed that aha. So I think equally as important is the let's keep going moments.
Yeah, Pedro, what you're describing is the concept of structural tension. If you can imagine a rubber band, if you're here and your goal is there and you stretch your rubber band, there's tension and it's kind of pulling you towards the goal. But the closer you get to the goal, the less tension there is, which is why you got to reconnect it to a new goal and keep that tension, because then that'll keep you fighting for it. This concept of structural tension is the gap between where you are and what you're trying to accomplish, or where you're trying to go, is what keeps you moving. And when you let that tension lapse, that's when you often say, oh, this is good enough. Or I got under 300 pounds. I got under 200 pounds. My jeans fit again. I'm good. As opposed to, hey, what's the next goal? What's the next thing I should shoot for? What's my next target? And I love what Jessica says here. This is so good. She says, speaking of community, what you rub up against rubs off. Man, that's good. That's a good one. I like that quote. I was feeling that one, Jessica. I love that one. That's so true. As my high school basketball coach used to say, both positive and negative. He'd say, if you mess with manure, you're going to get some on you. And what he was saying was, don't run with the wrong crowd. But I think that the same can be said on the positive side. You run with the right people and they rub off on you as well. So that's good, man.
I'll tell you, the evolution of why, of your aha, of your purpose it is an evolution, because what gets you started won't get you to the next thing. And, I think you've heard my story. There's so many like ups and downs to it. And so much of that is that moment where you're like, dude, I want to quit. I don't want to keep going. And, you know, Pedro, I think when I think about you and I even talk about it a little bit, you know, I made comments. I'm like, now you're the one who's going to inspire the next person. And for me, that's where how my why evolved. You know, it was about defying limitations, defying circumstances, seeing what I'm capable of, not wanting to live a certain way anymore, you know, proving to myself. And then it was like, okay, now I can help other people with this. And at some point, I imagine it will continue to evolve. But, you know, one of the things that Lombard talks a lot about is standards. And fitness for me is now just part of my lifestyle. I've got goals, I've got races and stuff like that, but honestly, it's like a lot of times I just put those on the calendar to keep me focused on progress. But even without that, you know, I sort of have I have my habits routine, I have my lifestyle. But I can imagine that a life issue or something that takes me off my routine, you know, it would be harder to get back. And so that's where reconnecting to that purpose or finding out what the new why is.
Yeah. You know, there's something to be said about that too. There's something that to be said about your mind will convince you to give up before your body is ready to give up. You know, like that's very true. The mind will say you're done before your body actually is. You know,
Goggins talks about those 1 second decisions. Where it's like, that's often all it is that 1 second when your body is saying, hey, I want to quit, let's call this. You just have to overcome that 1 second decision. You may have to do it often, but you may only have to do it that one time too.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, getting to that place where you just aren't willing to give up. You know, I remember when I ran high school cross country, the first thing our coach said to us at the beginning of the year was, and he would go around, he'd look at each of us in the eye, and he'd say, promise to yourself right now that no matter how tough it gets out there, you will not stop running. Just promise yourself right now that you will not stop running. Because I don't care how fast you're running, but you will not stop running. It was like getting that mindset right to say, man, when you're in a race, man, and like you're hurting, or you know, you got whatever's going on, you're cramping, whatever it is, you're not going to stop. You're just going to have that mindset. I'm not going to stop. Man, that was a powerful thing, a visualization for us as we started the season, was just telling ourselves and committing to ourselves and promising ourselves we weren't going to stop running, whether it's practice, whether it was at a meet or whatever. Like, doesn't matter what's going on, we're going to keep running, even if it's a jog, even if it's slow, we're not going to stop. And man, that's huge. You know, that's huge.
Don't die in the chair.
Don't die in the chair.
Don't die in the chair, baby. All right. Hey, listen, our time is up today. Always great to see you guys. I'm going to go spend some time with Dr. Mark Manera right now, and we'll see you guys on the flip flop. Good morning, Freight Sensei, Scott Watanabe. Yeah, baby. Back on the grind, baby. Let us know what you're doing, Scott. Hey, Scott, in the comments, put your aha moment when you decided to take your fitness journey seriously. Now, Scott's a military guy. He may have never needed an aha moment. He might have always had. But put in your aha moment whenever you get there. And again, we'll see you guys real soon. Hey, find your tribe, find your community, folks. And remember, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Peace out. See you guys next week. Let's go.